And welcome back to Hannity. So Kathy Griffin's vicious, vile attempt at so-called humor, not funny, in a recent photo shoot, holding a severed head that looks like President Trump, kind of like an ISIS fighter after holding up a beheaded individual that they just took their head off. Only the latest vicious attack by the left. In fact, the entire Trump family has been subjected to these horrible attacks by Democrats and members of the mainstream media. Donald Trump Jr. last night tweeted this about Kathy Griffin's vile so-called joke, quote, "Disgusting, not surprising. This is the left today. They consider this acceptable. Imagine a conservative that did this to President Obama." Joining us now with reaction, President Trump's daughter-in-law, Lara Trump. I think the saddest part of this, Lara, reading and watching this, is the reaction of the president's youngest son, Barron. And do you know that TMZ report, I assume, is true?
I actually haven't talked to them today about this specifically, but, you know, my brother-in-law said it very well. The fact that we live in a society that thinks that something like this is acceptable, and let's not forget, it probably wasn't just Kathy Griffin. She has many people around her. There was a photographer involved. I'm sure she has a publicist that worked with her. There were a lot of people around that could have said, you know what, this crosses the line. And the fact that nobody said that this crossed any line is appalling, but it tells you the society that we live in today and what some people deem acceptable. And this is exactly right. Had this happened to President Obama, I can only imagine what people would be saying right now.
Let's just start with the horrific things that have been said about a then 10, now 11-year-old kid. Leave the kid alone. I mean, it's really vicious. Or what has been said about our First Lady, or what has been said about Ivanka Trump. Now the vicious attacks against Jared. It seems like deep state leaks again. Then you've got Don and Eric. You've been attacked. You're expecting your first child. And everybody else around the president, anybody that likes the president, it seems, is subjected to this. I've never seen it this bad. As a family, have you talked about it, and how are you dealing with all of it?
Well, we've been dealing with it for almost 2 years now, Sean, and I'd love to say that it gets easier. It doesn't get easier, but we can handle it. You know, we've taken it for almost 2 years, and we understand that this is the world we live in, and we've accepted it in a way. But I think what is not acceptable is that people do things like what Kathy Griffin did, that there are people out there that would rather see our president fail rather than see our country succeed. And it's very dangerous, and we live in a very, very dangerous place right now, and it's very frightening to all of us.
You know, I'm watching, in my case, I mean, here you have liberals that claim they're the greatest advocates, champions of freedom of speech. They're not. Here, you know, Ivanka, Melania attacked, you've been attacked. And I have not heard a peep out of any prominent Democrat saying, okay, can we please stop attacking these women because it's so vile and vicious. And, you know, and then you got Hillary. You know, there's such hypocrisy. They're not champions of free speech. They take money from Sharia countries that persecute and abuse women, kill gays and lesbians, persecute Christians and Jews. They buy silence from people like Hillary. And not a peep. I think I'm the only person in the country that points out the hypocrisy. And look at, for example, Ivanka. Look at what the horrible things Bill Maher said about her, and she can't even, like, promote a recent book.
Yeah, and she does have a great book out there for business-minded women. And as a woman who works myself, I have read it, and I think it's going to be very helpful whenever I have a child in September to help me along the way. And she can't promote it. She says she won't promote it. And so I would love for people to go out and read it because it's an incredible book. But what these people have said, Sean, on the left, is they're teaching the young women of this country, who are all paying very close attention right now, that you can support other women, but only if these other women have their interests aligned exactly with yours. And anything outside of that is unacceptable.
Yeah. All right, Lara Trump, I'm sorry that your family has to go through that. All the best. Congratulations on the baby. We wish you the best. Tell Eric I said hi.
Thanks, Sean.
And coming